I'm live. It said I'm live. All right. I said that I would go live for 20 minutes here, and I'm live. I am. Anyway, I thought I had more time to dry my hair, but this is life. And anyway, let's go right into it. What I've been getting, I was getting like a download this morning. And that's why time sort of disappears when you're in your intuitive mind. I titled this Awakening Intuition a number of times, but I've never really done a live here. But anyway, okay. I'll get right into the teaching because I'm going to make this into a video afterwards. And I don't want to go in and edit it. I don't know how much. Anyway. So what happens with your intuition is I made a live video yesterday from Facebook, and I brought it over here to Instagram. And I'll bring this over to my different platforms most likely today as well. And so I was talking yesterday about your mind and how our mind is like this little cap right here. And I put it on my knee because that's what I had when I'm holding my phone. And so you have your intuition and your soul. You are a soul in a body. And your mind says, no, I'm all there is, and it tries to get you to believe that because that's all it believes it is. And you are this deeper part. You are the soul. So before we go on, take a second to become, you kind of can shift into a conscious awareness of you as a soul. You more than your mind. And how you do that, there are a number of ways to do that. If you go out in nature really helps you in this endeavor to get into that consciousness, because nature is always surrendered to divine love, to God, to being, just being in its being state. It doesn't have another agenda, Hey, welcome. Hi, Tiffany. I'm only going to be here for like 15 minutes. I made myself a promise I would be here 15 or 20 minutes live. And I'm just going to talk about consciousness right now and how, imagine, to get grounded. And then at the end, I'm going to talk about my class just a little bit so people know about it. But I really want something to give away. Thanks for stopping by, being here, however long you get to stay. I know your day. But anyway, I welcome you. So if you take a deep breath and feel your hand without touching your hand, it helps ground you into your body. That's just one quick way. Both your hands, either of your hands. Feel your feet. And then that's as much as we'll do right now because we only have the 20 minutes. Of you getting grounded. So what was getting downloaded into my being this morning was I kept seeing the widow. Christ saw this widow and she put everything she had into the offering bucket, And I was just imagining her today. What if she told everyone ahead of time, hey, I'm going to put everything I have to live on in this offering today. And what happened was everyone else, Jesus observed to his disciples, he's teaching them all the time, by his actions and his consciousness. He's teaching them how to live at this high level. And so he's showing them, look, all these people, they gave out of their abundance. They're giving out of the extra things they have. But a widow is someone, back then it was a patriarchal society. And so a widow is someone who lost her means of how she gets her, quote, security. She doesn't have a man that's going out and the men are the ones that owned the land and who knows what else. I don't know all the other repercussions from that day and age. Welcome. Hi, welcome. So I'm talking about the widow that put in everything she had, and how Christ is teaching us a high level of consciousness, how to get in this high level of consciousness. So she instead of relying on, because she didn't have a man anymore, it said she was a widow. And so she had this certain amount of money. And instead of, ask questions too if you want. Feel free. Welcome here. Instead of going and thinking with her logical mind, because I was teaching yesterday, we're so much more than our mind. We are consciousness in bodily form. And we are love, and we have so many unlimited capabilities and capacities, but we don't realize. And how are we going to realize that if we won't go beyond what our parents showed us? And so the widow, that's who was coming to my mind this morning. If she had told everybody ahead of time, hey, I think I have this great idea in my heart, in my intuition, that I'm going to give everything I have to live on and put it in this offering, for whatever reason she was drawn that way, And then Christ pointed out she gave more than anyone else, Everyone else gave out of their abundance. But what happens is when you surrender everything to divine love, to going for it, to going past what your parents showed you, because our parents only showed us their limited amount of consciousness. And if we stay with them, then we'll only go as far as they went. If we go beyond them, it feels like we're facing death every time. It feels like we're putting, quote, everything we have to live on in that plate of life. Because, in childhood, it's kind of like my way or the highway. If we don't go along to get along and go along with our parents, then we feel like our life could be threatened. They could take away our food, our shelter, or everything. And what happens, I see this as a psychologist, is I've been a psychologist for a number of years now, and working with people and doing the inner work myself. Just take a deep breath to ground yourself still in your higher consciousness, and this deeper part of yourself. I do that as well. But in doing this with people, is I see that oftentimes we're resistant to change. Thanks. We're resistant to change because this is what's familiar to us. This is what the family is. The word familiar. It's the same thing. And so, hold on, I got a notification. I'm going to just try to knock that out without knocking myself out of life. So we stay with what's familiar, and we're meant to go so much further beyond. Why do you think consciousness chose to come and live through us right now at this time? If we connect with that we are love, we are consciousness in itself, we are the Christ. Teresa of Avila, Saint Teresa of Avila said that Christ has no arms now but ours, and no legs, and no heart, and no mouth, whatever. All of this is us. And so you don't have to be in this rigid religious stance to understand what I'm saying. Is Christ is always teaching about higher consciousness, as was Bob Marley, as is a number of people. And exactly. Little Miss Divine One is saying, oh, true, we got to tell our ego, shh, and go into the unknown. And this is why I'm here, is I have a calling to help people navigate through their spiritual awakening by me being like super bold and courageous, even when I'm scared to death, to keep going into the unknown myself. And I explain it so that your mind can understand, our egotism can understand why we're afraid to go into that place, because in childhood, that is risking everything, because you could be left with nothing if you went against your parents. They were the big ones. We were the small ones, And so our right brain is the creative side, and our left brain is the logical. And our right brain doesn't know what year it is right now. And so it can get triggered and go back into that place and think that, hold on one second. I want to set an intention too, that anyone that's meant to be here will show up in the live, and then we'll show up later. All right. I mean, I did that way beforehand, but I just wanted to do it live while I was here. So, that our right our right brain doesn't know what year it is, and it'll go back to childhood and think that it's just as scary as that time then, and just as life-threatening. And it's like this path like The Alchemist, and like so many other books that encourage us on teaching us about this consciousness, like The Power of Now. They keep encouraging us to go into this unknown place and to let go of everything we held dear, in a way. And always you're going to get more. You're going to get more. It's always more adventurous because you're in the moment. You don't know what's going to happen. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful unfolding. And it really keeps you in the now, and it keeps you from insisting on a certain outcome because you don't know how it's going to outcome. I go with my clients. I learned this method. Thank God, thank the maker. I learned this method where I ask them a because question, an open-ended question. It's like, I keep doing this pattern because, and I don't even, hi Mario. I do this because, I don't even have an answer for where they're going to go. I have no idea where they're going to go. I've seen it a number of times before, so I know the freedom that they can have in their lives if they do this. But I allow myself to just be present without having an end goal in mind, to see where will their intuition show them the answer. And their intuition always shows them the best path. It really does. And it shows us, it's kind of like if I said to someone that had an eating disorder, why do you throw up your food? You do it for this, and this reason, or whatever, purge your food, whatever the clinical term is. Then if I came in there with all of the answers and was just telling them this, they would never find out the pattern. There's some kind of pattern that they're trying to undo from their childhood. And they know it's not working by the method that they're taking. This is how we get over addictions. We don't keep focusing on the addiction. We actually focus on what's going on underneath. What problem are you trying to solve? What are you trying to gain from this? The sense of a better image of yourself, or I know sometimes it's like trying to get rid of the bad out of ourselves, and unless we learn how. Bye, sweetheart. Thank you so much for coming by. I'm just going to post this live in 5 minutes or so you can come back later. Lovely to see you. All right. I know, because I didn't tell people ahead of time I was going to have this live. I guess that's what a live is. Come if you're aware, if you're awake and nearby. So anyway, if we go about things trying to fix them with our logical mind, we'll keep going with sometimes the destructive pattern that we've come up with, and our intuition will show us a higher path to take and how to surrender to that path. And let me think. So back to the widow, is she's letting go of everything that she had to live on, everything that she had that she could rely on with her logical mind. And that's why when Christ says you must leave your mother and father and brother and sister and whoever else, anything else that gets in the way of you and this path, how are we going to know this higher level of living unless we go there, unless we dare to go there, I'm usually like roller skating or at some fun place. So I think my friends, when they come on, they think I'm going to be doing some fun thing like that and not teaching. Because this was like my friend's site and my professional site, because I didn't know how to do all of this yet. But this can be fun too. It is fun. It's so fun to talk about higher consciousness and learning how to be in the now and learning how to be comfortable with yourself and feel alive and feel love and feel the love that you are, and that you don't need any outer circumstance. I don't need my roller skating to make me feel alive. I can feel alive right now. I don't need another person or circumstance or anything to activate this in us. It's just learning how to be courageous and go there and leave the things behind. It's so funny. I was talking to someone this morning. Actually, I had this meeting, and this woman that makes videos, I think she almost has like 50,000 people following her, but don't ever look at the numbers. Don't worry about the numbers. Keep doing you, keep staying in your purpose, and it'll all come alive. And so I watched one of her videos and I was like, this is so speaking to me. And then I talked to her today and she was like, you were in my heart the whole time I was making that video, and it was so funny because she actually was speaking to me in that video. And this is how the universe is so mysterious and so cool, how it will bring your path to other people and help you connect with them, because her soul needed mine and mine needed hers for a way, because I helped encourage her because of the need that she knew that I had, that I was vulnerable to express to her, that I thought I wanted encouragement in this certain area. She got up and made a video. And the same goes for me as I make videos, having some people in mind, sometimes some people just in general, and knowing myself. The other day I made that video on YouTube and I just said, look, this is what I would say to myself right now, because this is what I'm longing for. And I needed someone to say, be brave, be courageous, just look with a straight face ahead of time, keep your A game going, don't go off your course no matter what. And don't worry about your friends. Your friends might be like your family of origin. They might stay in that old consciousness, and misery loves company. And I'm not saying that they know that they're miserable, it's able to be a miser with love. That's miserable. And my friend Elliott made this song called Do You Miss Me, Miss Misery? And, do you miss the misery that you had with me? And you're miss misery as well. But anyway, it's learning how to go beyond the misery and let go of that. And, miserable is able to be a miser with love. So you're withholding love. And when you're withholding a higher consciousness level from yourself and a higher state of being, a higher way of being in this world where you're powerful in your purpose and you're acting in that purpose. And because everyone has, if we have divine love, consciousness, we are the temple of God, the living God is within us, then we have huge gifts that we've been given. And I said yesterday too, it's like an acorn seed. And if you just stay in seed form, you're never becoming the tree with all the fruit that you're meant to have. You're meant to be fruitful. So you're withholding love from God, back to God. God's trying to give you love, and it's going to put you in the ground and bury you and take you through the dark night of the soul, which is the painful part of this. But then you get to become this giant oak tree that has fruit, or whatever tree you are. You get to be joined with the divine in this co-creation of who you are. And so when you stay with your friends who choose to make excuses to stay miserable and stay a miser with love, you don't have to judge them. It doesn't have to be good, bad, all of the duality. It's just about letting them be where they are and moving on, go on. If you're called to higher places, we're all called to higher places, but we get to choose. You have free will to choose to accept that calling or reject it, and keep making excuses and keep looking back behind you at who you've left behind and the people that were so dear and that you loved so deeply, but you have to keep going in order to, it's like if someone kept going, you can't walk on water, or they said to him, you can't be crucified, you can't die, you're meant to be king. He's like, no, I'm going to be king. I'm going to be king a different way than you know how, or you understand right now. And he follows his king path. He said to Pontius Pilate, my kingdom is not of this earth. I think it will be, but that's different. I don't want to get into theology debates or anything, but, for if we say, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, so many people just blah, 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 parrot that prayer and don't even know we're meant to bring that kingdom here on earth. and our intuition, our soul self will teach us what that looks like, because it doesn't look like what our logical mind is like all the disciples that will say, but you can't do that. But we want you to stay here with us in this capacity. We don't want you to call us on to a higher. What are you doing walking on water? People can't walk on water. And then, you start sinking. And so just know that that's what grace is for. If you start sinking, just get up and start walking on water again. One of my favorite authors, Madeleine L'Engle, the woman that wrote A Wrinkle in Time, I had a writing course with her. I've run into so many amazing people, and there's no way I'm going to have run into all these people, and this deep friendship I had with Elliott, the relationship I had with him. I'm not going to let that go to waste. Like, he woke up my consciousness like no other person on this earth. He showed me what it means for faith to come alive. I would go every Friday and hang out with him at this place called Largo. And then I'd go on Sunday to church, and I couldn't see which one was more spiritually feeding me. This place where Elliott and I could just sit and watch John Bryan do live music and be in the state of creativity and consciousness, and other people that were quiet and aware and listening and present, versus, church on Sunday where people were saying all these words, but they weren't activating them. They just stay in seed form. Not everybody, but so many of them weren't. And I'm not about that. I don't want a dead religion. I don't want a dead faith. And so, Madeleine L'Engle, I took a writing course with her, and she said, walk on water. So let's do that. Because why not? Who's going to stop us? Anyway, all right, I'm going to stop. I'll stop the live. Oh, I didn't even say about my course. Okay, so I'm offering this round of my course again. The price went up from before, but they just emailed me that it's easy to make a coupon. So I might make a coupon. We'll see. But sign up regardless. And if I make the coupon, we can apply it to next month or something. But I have a course on practicing the power of now, awakening your intuition through the power of now, a whole year-long course. But you can just sign up for the first 3 months. And the first 3 months will change your life. I already have, I have people signed up in this course. And I've been working in it for months and months now. And finishing up so that I would be, it's just a beautiful course. It's 4 1-hour videos a month. So you get 1 hour teaching a week, 1 hour teaching a week on the book, The Power of Now. So you're not just reading this book. It's Eckhart Tolle wrote this book on the power of now. It's not just about let's read the book once, because I read it a long time ago and it took a long time for me to activate it in my life. And this is what brings me so much peace and so much more experience with God. It's like Brother Lawrence is practicing the presence of God, It is like that. And so I'm teaching you how to live this because I'm daring to live it in my life. And it's really difficult. It's simple, super simple. Your logical mind is like, what is this? This is too simple. It can't work. But it does work. And then I also have a live Zoom meeting or whatever meeting that we do once. Hi, I'm just about to wrap this up, but welcome. All right. So, and then I'm going to post this afterwards. So I have a live coaching where I do live coaching once a week with the people in my class, and I have a private Facebook group for this class too. So hello, welcome. All right, I'm just wrapping this up. I was talking about this class that I have to offer after I just did a teaching. All right, so people are just coming on now. Maybe I'll wait a few more minutes next time before I start talking. But all right, much love to everyone. Thanks for coming by here. DM me if you want to know questions about the class. It's an amazing class. It will totally change your life. It's like having 2 hours of therapy every week. It will keep taking you really deep into creating these changes you'd like to change in your life, but in a way that's different than the normal path. So dare with me. I welcome it to people who are committed. If you're committed to, or if you're in a lot of pain, this is often how we get really committed to do this. All right. I wish you much love. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this after the live too.